friends, this is Rowan. If you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome. If you're returning, I'm glad you decided to come back. I know it's been about a week or so since I put out a video last, and I apologize for that. Things have been really hectic. Just been getting things ready for my best friend who is going to be coming from Illinois to spend a week here, and as well as getting things set up for my daughter's visit in the summer. It's been so crazy. But, well, I've been lax. I'm sorry. Don't kill me. Don't stone me. So, anywho, I thought today we would do another movie review. And long ago, when I first made this channel, I said I was going to do movie reviews, and I've done all of one so far. And for that, I'm sorry. But there just hasn't been a whole lot of movies I felt like talking much about. Now, if you see me look over here to the side, it's because I have all of my notes and stuff on the movie that we're going to be talking about today, and that would be The Forest. And that movie recently came out, and now you can get it on Blu-ray, DVD, digital download, stuff like that. And I actually did purchase it on digital download off of the Google Play Store. I'll put a link down to it in the description down there. So if you're interested in seeing it, you can always find it there. Well, let's get to it. So, The Forest, I got a lot to say about it. It was a interesting movie in some respects. In other respects, it kind of came off as we're trying to make a Japanese-style horror ghost movie, and it didn't quite work out that way. Oh, sorry. Tap the microphone. But, anywho, because a lot of horror movies really change depending on what country you're going to, because each country has their own idea of what is considered, scary to them. And in Japan and in a lot of Asian countries, you see a lot of horror movies that are more pertaining to the supernatural, to ghosts, things like that, The Hungry Dead or The Vengeful. People know about like The Grudge and stuff like that. It's very, Japan type movies, or Japan type horror movies. And I think The Forest was really trying to pull that sort of movie off. It's about, if you don't know anything really about the movie, it's about a girl named Jess, and she goes to Japan looking for her twin sister who vanished into the forest. Now, the forest is, and I'm probably mispronouncing it, so please don't murder me on this one. It's Aokigahara, is as best as I can pronounce it, and basically it translates into Sea of Trees. And it is located at the northwest base of Mount Fuji. And it's become a very popular spot for people to commit suicide. If you actually go to this place, because it is a real place, if you go there, they have signs and stuff up telling people, if you're feeling suicidal, here's some phone numbers you can call, please don't kill yourself. And there's been a big problem there with people who go into the forest after people and go and looting bodies and campsites of people that have committed suicide there. I mean, it's really it's really tragic. It's really tragic. But in the movie, it also is a historical site, and they do tours there, and people can go walk, because they do have walking paths through it and everything, because it is a really beautiful place to visit. And I can understand why somebody who is in the depths of despair and depression, who decided to end their life, would want to go somewhere that their final days or their final moments would be somewhere so beautiful and peaceful and calm and gentle as their final place of life. But anywho, Jess goes to Japan looking for her sister. She meets up with this guy named Ben, and they go and start looking for her sister in the forest. And the movie, I gotta say, the pacing I felt was very slow. A lot of Asian horror, a lot of Japanese horror has much slower pace than American horror or UK horror or German horror or stuff like that. That most of us have seen a lot of those. If you're into horror movies, you've probably seen a lot of those. And our horror, Western horror, tends to be very action packed, very hectic, frantic pace, and that's where a lot of the anxiety comes from, is from this hectic pace. Oh, and I just keep knocking my microphone all over. Damn it. But anyways, it comes from a very hectic pace. And a lot of Asian horror just is this slow grinding, kind of like a Silent Hill sort of thing, where it's this slow grinding, wearing you down to the point of despair sort of thing. Which, personally, I really like. I like both styles a lot. The Forest really seemed like they were trying to do that sort of slow grinding, but slow grinding despair. But in turn, it kind of felt more like it was just slow. The locations were beautiful. The few ghost effects and stuff that they used were very well done because they didn't use a lot of computerized special effects, or at least it didn't appear they used a lot of computerized special effects. They relied more on lighting and sound and costume and makeup and stuff to really kind of do some of the ghost stuff, and it really worked very well. I expected more in that vein than what they gave us because we only see the ghosty stuff a couple of times and all that. But all in all, I thought that was very, very well done. And the story, though, kind of gets a little confused. It has a sort of, I don't know if any of y'all have seen the Sam Raimi movie Drag Me to Hell. It has a very Drag Me to Hell kind of ending to it, which in Drag Me to Hell worked really great because it's a Sam Raimi horror movie, which means it's going to be campy and scary-ish, but kind of campy and fun, kind of like the Evil Deads and stuff. He that's his kind of style of horror. And this movie seemed like it was trying to be very intense and scary and full on horror, and then has this kind of almost sort of campy ending, and that was a bit of a disappointment. But I mean, it's the director of the movie was Jason Zada, and from what I've been able to find, he hasn't done a whole lot of directing. I think he did extremely well, considering all in all. If you watch horror movies, you probably might have seen The House That October Built. He directed that movie, and I saw that once, and it wasn't a bad movie. Very modern American horror movie, kind of B level horror movie, but it was good. The writers for the movie was Ben Katai, which he wrote. Or was one of the co-writers for 30 Days of Night, Dark Days. Nick Antosca, who was one of the writers for a movie called The Girlfriend Came, which I don't know that movie. I've never seen that movie, so I really can't compare this movie to that. But I did see 30 Days of Night, Dark Days, and I liked that one. It was well done, and it fit well into that whole 30 Days a Night graphic novel recreation movie sort of thing. And the last writer was Sarah Cornwell, and I think this was like her first venture into writing. So, hey, it was relatively unknown writers, relatively unknown director. So, it was kind of a push of new talent. And I think overall they did an exceptionally well job, considering none of them have what seems like a whole lot of experience. They're not like done like a bunch of films or big features or anything. The actors, I think, were very well planned out. The twins, of course, played by the same woman, was played by Natalie Dormer, which all of us who are Game of Thrones fans would know her as Marjorie Tyrell. And I think she did an amazing job. She's a really good actress. She's very beautiful. She has a lot of talent, and I think she was very, very well cast for this role. The guy that she hooks up with to go search the forest, his name was, what was it? Owen Mackin. Or McCann. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing pronouncing that last name right either. It's he's from Ireland, and if you watch BBC stuff, you would probably recognize him as Sir Gawain. Shut up, computer. Okay, he is Sir. He played Sir Gawain in the BBC television show of Merlin, which I really liked Merlin, and my roommate Will, me and him used to watch Merlin all the time, and so yeah, I knew who he was, and I knew who the the actress Natalie was, and so it was relatively well cast. Um, I think the dynamic story wise between the characters was not as good as it should have been. I think that they could have been worked on a little better, because you kind of get the whole feeling that it seems like at first when they first meet, it's like, are they going to be flirty? Is it going to are they going to do the whole thing of oh, there's a little romance happening in the midst of all this, the searching for the sister or whatever, and then it just totally like reverses to kind of this distant sort of, there's no emotional connection between the characters, and I think in turn that makes it to where there's not a feeling of emotional connection with the characters from an audience member's perspective, and that was a little disappointing as well. But all in all, I do feel it was, they did as good a job as possible, considering the script is, was honestly not the best written script ever. But considering the writers mostly done little small or indie type films and stuff, I wasn't expecting, miraculous gold out of it, but I did expect more, because I am a big fan of Asian horror. I'm a big fan of supernatural horror, and I really had hoped that this movie was going to live up to that, especially because I just finished playing Fatal Frame: Made in Black Water, which is set in the fictional thing of Mount Kigame, which is based off of the actual Sea of Trees at Mount Fuji. That that is a suicide forest. People go there to die, and blah 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 blah. And it's haunted by the people who've died there and stuff like that. Which is basically the same story as the actual forest in Japan. So I was hoping that there was going to be something sort of like what the game gave us, in that there would be, more ghost encounters, and there would be this, chasing them through the woods, and, stumbling across these horrific scenes, or something like that. And it really, the movie fell flat. It fell flat, and I'm so disappointed by that, because I really, really, really had hoped to like this movie an awful lot. And I really had hoped to be able to give it a fantastic review, because I really do try to push people to not so much always just go, oh, horror has to be blood and guts and gore and, blah, 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 monsters and stuff like that. Because there is a, the whole genre of the supernatural horror, the ghost, the Asian style supernatural horror is, they do horror so well. I mean, so super well. It's, their characters tend to be very deep, and there's a lot of psychological going on, and and it seemed like this movie was really trying to capture that sort of essence, and it came off very blasé and bland, and I was like, oh man, it's not a bad movie. Now, don't take this criticism as saying that it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a great movie. And there's not a lot of great horror movies out there, honestly. Let's be honest. Most horror movies are just shock and thrill and titties flying everywhere. You have a few super great horror movies. Like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a great horror movie, but it was the whole start of a particular genre of, this grinding terror, just constant, just in your face sort of thing. And, then more modern would be like Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, which harkened back to that old style of that, driving terror sort of thing, but it also added in and a lot of psychological horror and stuff into it as well. But there's just really not a lot of super great horror movies, and this one kind of falls into the range of, it's almost B-movie level. If it wasn't for the phenomenal setting and the big name actors, it probably would have been a B movie. I'm sorry, it would have been a B movie. Not that there's anything wrong with B movies, but the way the movie was promoted, it seemed like it was going to be much more, terrifying, and there was going to be, all this, stuff going on, and it really wasn't. It was a lot of walking in the woods, a lot of nothing. Oh, there's one ghost. Back to a whole lot of nothing. Oh, somebody's losing their mind. Oh, no, 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 they're not really losing their mind, and blah, blah. It's, I was mad. I was mad at the end, how the ending came out. I was mad that it totally didn't even remotely come close to any of the expectations for the movie or anything how the movie was promoted, and that don't jive with me too well. But if you want to watch a horror movie, excuse me, that is a little lighter, where you can just put it on and it's kind of running in the background while you're doing something else, or you have some friends over and you just want to giggle and chat and have something playing on the TV. The horror is great, or the Forest is great for that. It's really, but it's nothing spectacular and it's not particularly scary. So if you were expecting that, and that's the reason you're thinking of watching the movie or getting the movie, then you're going to be so disappointed, because I was so disappointed. I'm so angry about that. I'm so angry that it just came out so bad. But if you're okay, or if you can't do a lot of super scary horror movies, you're like kind of easing into horror, and you're kind of a chicken when it comes to horror movies, because I know people who just absolutely cannot watch horror movies because they're just so fucking chicken when it comes to things like that. This would probably be a movie you could watch because it's not really scary. There's a couple of little jump scare type points, and those are okay. They did really well on one jump scare when she's like down in these underground caverns, and they had a jump scare, and it was really good. I don't want to spoil the movie. Not like there's really much to spoil, but excuse me. Sorry, I'm been feeling kind of lately. I think it's just because the weather's changing. But anywho, yeah. So The Forest, it's disappointing if you're a big horror fan like I am, and you were expecting to see something that was going to be a supernatural sort of horror type thing. Yeah, it's disappointing in that. But if you're into lighter horror or something that's not really, it's kind of like almost kind of thriller-ish, but not really horror type thing with just a little elements of horror here and there, then you would probably like this. And on that note, I think I'm going to stop, and I'm going to go ahead and end this rambling, because I've been rambling for like 18 minutes now. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this channel. It really means a lot to me, you guys. I never expected even 5 people to be following this channel, and now we got 84, and that's surprising for somebody like me, because I didn't make this channel to get likes or to get views, and I don't monetize any of my videos or anything like that, because I do this for just for fun. It's it's something that's fun for me to do, and I enjoy doing that kind of thing. So thank you guys. Thank you all so super much. And keep your eyeballs out, because I am going to start recording today a funny game. I know I don't normally do a lot of funny games, and I've been doing mostly horror type games, and I will be getting back onto Dead Space and stuff like that. But I wanted to kind of take a break from just the horror, jumpy, scary kind of stuff and do something funny, because I do own some funny games, so that's going to be coming up, and there will be some new movie reviews, and I'm probably going to be doing some do a little talk about the end of the last season of Walking Dead, and Fear the Walking Dead, both of which I have a lot of commentary on, so that will be coming up. And in May, when my best friend arrives, me and her are going to be doing some game videos together. I'm going to be getting back on doing the face cam stuff. I know I was doing that for the start of Fatal Frame, and I didn't finish it off, but anywho, I'm going to stop babbling now. So I love you guys, and I super, 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 super thank you all for watching this and for subscribing to the channel. If you would like to, go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section. I'm happy to answer them all, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I will say goodbye now. So, okay, guys, love you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.